Good evening, everybody.
Hello, Ian.
Hey guys, how are you?
Tired. Oh, Wiley, by the way, holy shit does that TCR race wear you out?
Yeah, especially the hour-long ones. When we do the sprint races, a couple of sprint races, it's a little easier because you get some time off. But yeah, the hour, especially on a short track, is a lot.
Yeah, I didn't have a setup, so I was kind of winging it with the endurance setup modified, and it was really terrible towards the middle of the race. I couldn't find time, so I need to find setups. And Mike Polasek is insanity, so that's wonderful.
Hey guys.
Hey John.
That was fun, Clark.
I just followed you right out.
Mic check, mic check.
Hey Kurt.
Hey Kurt. Yo boys.
Evening.
What's up, Ian?
Hi everyone, this is Steve Vaccaci with the Vintage Racer Group. We are going to be showing you a race from Watkins Glen in the Audi GT90s. This race is presented by the Office Service Company. So we're about 10 minutes into a 30-minute practice session. In about 20 minutes we're going to start a 15-minute qualifying session, which will be followed by two 25-minute sprint races. We're going to go... I'm going to disappear for a few minutes, get my kids to bed, and then I'll come back with some commentary of qualifying and the race. So we'll see you guys in a bit. Hi everyone, this is Steve Vappa. I'm with the Vintage Racer Group. You are watching a race of the Virtual Racer League presented by the Office Service Co. Tonight we're going to be racing at Watkins Glen in upstate New York. We're driving Audi GTO 90s. They're probably about 35 years old this time, so they're about as vintage as iRacing gets. This is on iRacing software. If you have any questions about that, if you know any guys in the group, shoot them a message or shoot me a message at the bottom of the chat and I'll try to answer it. If anyone has any drivers or anything they'd like to see covered or just any questions, I can do my best to answer them during the broadcast. If you, like I said, drop them in the chat there. Right now we have about 14 cars on track, led by Stefan Vappa, who's pretty much led every session we've had so far. About 3.5 minutes left in this practice session, and we're going to jump into a 15-minute qualifier. And that's a conclusion of our practice session. In a few seconds, all the drivers are going to head out and do their qualifying laps. They have 15 minutes. I think they get 3 laps. Most sessions in iRacing are 2, but this is a 3-lap session, and then they can stay out and use up to 15 minutes for practice if they can keep their car intact. Yes, we have Carlos Bonds. That doesn't look like his Hello Kitty. Maybe. Oh, he disappeared. A little bit of connection issue. Oh, he's got one on the hood there. It's a Hello Kitty. It says MotoGP on the side. I think we have a late entry in Darren Treacle. At this point, his familiar blue and yellow. Fellow broadcaster Jim Caramanis in his at this point expected red and black livery. Bob Lang, number 40. John Clerk. Got his, I guess it's a retro livery, something that would have been seen on this car back in the day. Here we have newcomer Jeff Underwood. This is his first race with us. He was towards the front in our practice session that we had on Thursday night. So I expect him to be there. Kurt Uzbey in the Martini livery. Jim Graziano in his dark blue. He's got a little yellow. Sometimes I confuse that with Stefan. Michael Kelly. I believe that's a camel livery he's running. Ian Ditson. Got a red and white American flag on top. I do appreciate everybody sticking with the same livery week to week. It makes it easy to learn the cars, and it's a bit of a chore when everybody switches them up, but most guys have stayed consistent. Got Wiley Cox. He's a fairly newcomer. He's got a John Player Special. We have Ralph Padgington. It's a sister car to Jim Caramanis' car. We have everybody starting to get their first laps in. We have Stefan Vappa on top, followed by Jeff Underwood and Darren Treacle at the moment. Still looking for laps out of Clark Ostrom, Ian Ditson, Jim Graziano, John Clerk, and Todd Angel. Bob Lang have a little off. That'll invalidate his lap. So have to recoup quickly as this is the final corner and put his head down for a final lap. So as it states now, we have Stefan Vappa on top. Darren Treacle has moved into second. And in third and fourth, we have our two newest members, Jeff Underwood, Wiley Cox. And as I say that, Ian Ditson jumps up to third. Looks like our top three drivers are separated by about a second. It looks like most drivers are in the midst of completing their third lap. Let's see, the first one to complete the lap is going to be Darren Treacle. No improvement, 149.16, about 400ths off his best. Stefan Vappa improves to a 147.9. It's our fastest time so far. A little bit of shuffling of the order. We have Ian Ditson finishing his third lap. And he jumps up into the second spot. Yeah, so it looks like most guys are staying out on the track to do a little bit of practice. Still have two drivers who can complete a third lap. We could jump on board with Jim Graziano. He's got about a half a lap here to finish on his third lap. His best lap is a 152.6, so he's looking to improve on that. Yeah, I'm curious if I have any maybe like deltas or anything we could do neat here like Formula One, but if there is, I'm not really sure how to do it. But it appears to be a nice and tidy lap. Yeah, so he improved about 2.5 tenths, just not enough to move him up the leaderboard. He is 100th behind Kurt Uzbey. We have about 4.5 minutes left in this session. Then we'll begin the first of our dual races. Yeah, so as expected, Stefan Vappa's on top, followed by Darren Trico and Ian Ditson. They seem to be our top three season in, season out. Then we have newcomers Jeff Underwood and Wiley Cox, separated by Michael Kelly. But right from there on, we have a pretty close group of guys, separated by only a little bit of time. So I'm expecting some good battles. I think Todd Angel there, he was our last person to set a time. He jumped up to the 12th spot. Actually, I'm seeing the order jump around a little bit. I think we are able to set more than 3 laps. Maybe I just haven't been paying attention all season, but I thought we were capped at 3. For right now, I'm going to jump on board with Carlos Bonds so you can get a view of the whole circuit. We have about 2.5 minutes left, which should give him enough time to get around. So here we are, about the toe of the boot. Just as we jump on, we give him some commentator's curse. Small mistake. So many cars in iRacing are paddle shifted, have kind of built-in assists that the modern cars have, but this car being so old, it's actually an H-pattern car, requires some clutch and a quick lift to get shifted. There's a few different ways to do it, but that's typically the fastest way to do it. So on top of you know, this being just a tricky car to drive, 4-wheel drive, lots and lots of power. I think it's 700 plus horsepower. You have to manage some tricky shifts. They're very easy to miss and go into neutral on the way up and on the way down. Car also has a very large turbocharger. The power is not linear, so revved up is the best way to go fast, and if you shift too early, you're going to be below the power and have to wait on it a little bit. So that can be a little bit to manage when you're coming out of corners, expecting a certain amount of power, and it may or may not be there. So 20 seconds left in this session, then we're going to jump to the grid. Okay, that's it. Wait for the cars to jump on track. Gonna have a full pace lap and a rolling start. throw up the race info for today. And sadly, it's too small on my screen for me to read. Hopefully you guys can see it at home. I think it looks like the track's 115 degrees maybe. Or that's just the air temp. Either way, that's pretty hot. The cars will be sliding around a bit at that temperature. Oh, there we go. I got it fixed. Yeah, so the air temperature is 78 degrees. In general, nice weather in the simulation world, but the track temp is 113 degrees, and that is on the hotter side. So that'll be something for the guys to manage. And here's our starting grid for tonight. On pole, we have Stefan Vappa at a 1:47. Super fast time. Seems like he's got quite a gap on the field. Number 2, we have Darren Treacle. In row 2, we have Ian Ditson and Wiley Cox. And in row 3, we have Jeff Underwood and Michael Kelly. Row 4, Carlos Bonds and Bob Lang. Row 5, John Clerk, Jim Karamanis. Row 5, we have Todd Angel and Jim Graziano. And in the last row, we have Ralph Padgington and Kurt Oozbay. Now, we do an inverse start. So, following this race, I believe it's the top 10 will get inverted. So, the 10th spot will be the leader, and the winner of this race will be starting 10th. Here we are approaching the final corner. Pace car will pull into the pits, and we're going to have a green flag start. There you see the pace cars in. Green, green, green. Oh, so we got a car going for the middle. Going to be 3 wide into turn 1. Looks like Stefan Vappa kept the lead. Ian Ditson has moved up to 2nd. A couple cars side by side through the S's, which is tough in this car. In many cars, it's a flat corner. The cars either don't make enough power or have enough downforce. This car has too much power and not much downforce at all. Car in the grass, but he's able to keep it going. Oh, bit of an incident in the back there. Yeah, entering the bus stop, looks like somebody maybe got into the back or possibly went too wide. We'll jump back to that in a minute. Looks like Stefan Vappa is building a little bit of a gap. Right now we have Ian Ditson, Darren Treacle, Jeff Underwood, and Carlos Bonds look pretty close there. And actually, Wiley Cox is in that mix as well. Darren Treacle's all over the back of Ian Ditson. Not really sure there's any good spots here to pass until we get to the front stretch. Oh, Darren looks like he's got to run. He's going to pop his nose out. If they're too cautious, they have Jeff Underwood right behind him. Darren Treacle takes the spot, goes a little bit wide. I think Ian's back on the inside. He sure is now. Nope, I thought we were going to go side by side through the S's. Ian falls into line. Oh, he sticks his nose out and Darren goes defensive. So as I said earlier, anybody at home has any questions, just send a message in chat, whether it's YouTube or Facebook. I should be able to get access to it, and hopefully I can answer your questions or possibly follow your favorite driver. Here we go, side by side into toe of the boot. Ian on the outside. Looks like he's gonna make it stick. Looks like Michael Kelly's making a move. Really sticking his nose inside. So Stefan Vappa pulled out to about a 5-second lead, but we have a 6-car battle behind him. I'm going to jump back to that first lap incident, see if we can determine what happened. Looks like John Clerk was involved. Oh, yep. Yeah, looks like somebody got into the back of John Clerk. I'm not really sure who that was, but well, unfortunate for John Clerk, it looks like it only affected that one car. Try to see if I can find our closest battle. Yeah, it was still this group of 6, and it actually looks like Bob Lang, Jim Karamanis are making a little gains on them. Cardouz Bay behind Jim Karamanis. Forces his way up the inside. Oh. By the looks of the side of his car, looks like he's used up a little and probably gave a little paint to Jim. Now look at this train. I mean, these cars are tough to manage on your own, so just to have this many cars running together is quite an accomplishment. Oh, Darren's making another move. He goes in. Ian's going to let him go. He's going to probably try to go up the inside again. Oh, looks like he backed out. As you can see, Stefan Vappa has moved away in the distance. Yes, most of our cars are lapping in the 49, 150 range, and Stefan's just up there putting out 147s. He's going to be tough to beat. Although, as I said, we have that inverse field for race 2. And once again, Ian's in the outside in the toe of the boot, and he gets around Darren once again. Oh man, I'm still on replay. I'm sorry. Let's jump up. I have a bad habit of that. So it looks like we're going to be in for a 12-lap race. We're about a third of the way through. And except for that first lap incident, I'd say we have a pretty clean race. Most guys got, at this point of the season, have this car under control. Ian puts 2 tires in the grass and does a great job saving it. I think he's fortunate to be in a part of the track where Darren really can't capitalize. Our front pack of 6 cars, though, has begun to strung out. Jeff Underwood still hanging on to these guys. Oh, Darren's close. He's to the inside. And he makes the pass going into the bus stop. That pass only really works if you can trust the guys you're racing with. You know, if either of them make a little bit of a mistake, you're going to be in trouble. Great racing by those guys. I think Jeff Underwood's as close as he's been to Ian all race. Stefan Vappa is still setting fast laps in the 147s. He's got about a 9-second lead on second place, Darren Treacle. Curious to see if Darren can keep a little bit of a gap between he and Ian, what kind of lap times he can put down. See the fire coming out the exhaust. It's a feature of this car. One-sided exhaust. It has a very large turbo on the side of a straight 6, I believe. Might even be a 5-cylinder. Oh, somebody's in the grass back there. That might have been Jeff Underwood. Jump on board, Wiley Cox. See, Ian took a very late apex on that corner, try to get a good drive off it. I have a feeling Ian might be pushing a bit too hard as he sees Darren Treacle getting a little bit smaller in his front windshield. Jump up is Stefan Vappa. He is crossing the start-finish line, begin lap 7, which is the halfway point of this race. There you can see he's almost got a whole front straight on second place, Darren Treacle. We don't have any. I mean, we have battles, but nothing too crazy right now. Most people are holding their position and like I said, it just seems like people are coming to grips with the car and the track, and you know, nobody's making a lot of mistakes, which is really why we're not getting too much passing. Let's see. Here we have Jim Karamanis right behind Ralph Padgington. They're fighting for 11th place. Now, with a little bit of luck, these guys could be that 10th, you know, 9th and 10th spot and be on the front row for the next race. Right now, Todd Angel's sitting in that 10th spot. Yeah, it looks like the cars in front of Jim here are kind of lapping in the 151, 152 range, and Jim's laid down a low 150, so he has a little bit of pace advantage over these cars. It looks like we have a battle for position. Michael Kelly has caught Wiley Cox. This is a battle for 5th position. So I think it took a little bit of time, but Darren Treacle is now circulating in the 147 range. He's about within a 10th of Stefan Vappa's fast laps. So just Darren had that fight with Ian Ditson. Lasted too many laps, I think, for Darren to contend for the lead, or at least for the win in this race. I don't foresee Stefan making any mistakes, allowing that gap to get smaller. But next race, those guys will be starting in row 5 and have to work their way through traffic. Oh, he makes it stick down the inside of turn 1. Wiley Cox goes low. I think he's got him. Yeah, Wiley Cox gets it back. Seems very easy to carry a little bit too much speed when you're on the inside of turn 1. We saw the battle with Ian Ditson and Darren Treacle. That played out a few laps in a row, actually. Oh, Michael Kelly goes to the inside and Wiley blocks it. I'm going to jump back. Todd Angel has caught Kurt Newsbay. Now it looks like he's going to have a good run heading up to the bus stop. Except he's going to be on the outside. Oh, he completes the pass. I think Kurt Newsbay backed out a little bit. Probably didn't want to go too wide into the bus stop. Smart decision. These two guys, if they stay here, will be our front row for the next race. We've seen Kurt Newsbay start front row of the second race a few times and has made a pretty good race of it the last few races he's done it. Now we have Jim Graziano on the inside of Ralph Padgington. Gets a little curb and goes wide. Ralph Padgington takes advantage of that mistake and gets back by. So we have Michael Kelly still trying to get by Wiley Cox, but they're duking it out there has allowed Carlos Bonds to catch them. About 3/4 of a second between each car. And now it looks like Jeff Underwood as well is in this group. So this is our closest cars on the track right now by far. Stefan Vappa is about to complete lap 10, which is going to give us 2 laps to go. Yep, so this is lap 11 of 12 for Stefan. You can just see Darren popping out of the final corner. Yeah, so they're a few tenths apart, these guys. Race 2 should be a little bit better. Race for the lead. I mean, we've had some exciting stuff in the middle here. But the race for the lead has left us wanting some more. Thanks, Stefan. Making my job boring. Making it hard, really. A little more blocking into the bus stop. Yeah, Carlos Bonds gets a little bit closer every time one of these guys makes a move like that. I mean, about a lap and a half to go for these guys, so if they're going to make a move, they're running out of time. So Wiley Cox has been going defensive and going to the inside, entering the bus stop. I personally prefer to be on the outside entering the bus stop, because if you can hang on the first part, you know, if you take the bus stop as a 4-part corner, part 2 and 3 are left. So if you can keep the guy on the outside, you can often make that position stick if you're on the outside entering. But we'll see what kind of run Michael Kelly gets this time up the S's. Well, it looks like he made a little bit of a mistake. Maybe he got too close and had to get hard on the brakes. Carlos Bonds is on the inside, so I think we're not going to have that issue. We're not going to have anything between Michael Kelly and Wiley Cox, but Carlos Bonds and Michael Kelly are definitely going to fight this one to the end. Oh, looks like Darren Trico might have made a mistake. I see he's in 3rd place. I don't see anything on the in my race events. Let's see here if I could jump back. Oh, I don't know if Ian missed a shift or Darren missed a shift or what, but let's jump back live. Nope. And Darren's all over the back of Ian. He's running out of corners if he wants to get back by. Oh, he's going to go up the inside here because he's got the position. Let's see if he makes it stick. Stefan Vappa is crossing the finish line for the win. Congrats to him. And then if you see behind, we got another battle. So it looks like Darren's got the position. Yes, he does. And then here I'm going to jump back real quick to Jeff. Jeff and Wiley and Michael. And Carlos is caught up. Wow, we're almost 3 wide in the final corner. Looks like Jeff's going to hang on with Wiley Cox, and Carlos Bonds almost stole that position. Just missed it. Bob Lang's race, I would say, was fairly uneventful in 8th. Todd Angel was able to pick up another spot since we previously followed him. He was in 9th. Him and Kurt Uzbay will be starting up front for the next race. No, we just missed Jim Karamanis, and Ralph Padgington's coming across the line, followed by Jim Graziano. All right. So let's jump to our race results, which I don't see that we don't have. Oh, actually, I think I read that we have a little bit of an issue with those. Well, soon enough, we'll get the grid for the next race, and that'll be enough to figure out where everybody finished. And we're gridding up for race 2. And this, I guess, is our feature race, brought to you by the Office Service Company. You're watching a Virtual Racer League race, part of the Vintage Racer Group. I'm Steve Vappa. Hope to have a co-host with me tonight, but we didn't have anybody available. Although it works out when we have more guys on the track. We have 14 cars this week. Step up from the 9 we had last week. We had a great race last week, despite being only 9 cars, but I think we all enjoy having more cars on the track. Okay. And the cars are rolling off the grid. We'll check out the race info once again. Track temperatures dropped about 5 degrees. That'll be worth about 3 or 4 tenths a lap, depending on the cloud cover. If the clouds come out, it'll be even more, but if the sun stays out like this, it'll be a few tenths over where we started the first race. In our grid for race 2, as I said, this is a reverse order of the top 10 from our previous race. So Jim Karamanis is on pole. Alongside him will be Kurt Uzbay. Row number 2 will be Todd Angel and Bob Lang. Row 3 is Michael Kelly and Wiley Cox. Row 4 is Jeff Underwood and Ian Ditson. And in row 5 we have race winner of race 1, Stefan Vappa, and our runner-up, Darren Treacle. Row 6 we have Ralph Padgington and Jim Graziano. And then in our last row, we have Carlos Bonds and John Clerk. So we're about halfway through our pace lap. Cars are entering what I would say is the heel of the boot. 3 more corners before we kick off race 2. We had an exciting race 1. I expect this one will be a little bit more dramatic as the inverse field tends to bunch things up a bit. Last race at Sonoma, we had a bit of action at the start of race 2, so I hope we can keep it a little bit cleaner and keep the cars on the track. And pace cars in, and we have green. Looks like Kurt Uzbek got a good jump on the outside. They're going to head down to turn 1. Open, they're side by side. Might have been a little bit of bump in there, and that allows. Oh, I think I saw maybe Bob Lang get into Michael Kelly. Ooh, that was rough. Oh boy. This is not good. Well, depends who you are. Oh boy, let's jump back up and see how that started. Well, that's Stefan Vappa went a little wide, and that's Michael Kelly went a little wide there. Let's see if a different camera angle. Oh my god. Looks like camera angle 2 might be the best for this. Oh boy. Can't seem to get to the beginning of it. You know what? Let's see. Is there a rewind button? Oh yeah, there's a rewind button. Hate to do this live, but it's be the best way to see what happened here. Oh yeah, it looks like Michael Kelly went to the inside of Bob Lang, and Bob Lang moved over to make a pass, and Michael Kelly cut across, and then after that the track just kind of got blocked. I don't think anyone made it through there unscathed. Alright, let's jump back live and see what we have. So we have Bob Lang in the lead, who's just getting around Kurt Uzbek. They have about a 4-second gap on Jeff Underwood. Kurt Uzbek goes for the lead. Oh, was he carried maybe a little bit too much speed? Bob Lang's back on the inside. Gets back by him before they enter the S's. So sadly, it looks like about half the cars are out of the race, or at least had to pit and get some repairs. I think I see. Oh, Stefan Vappa. I mean, I think he took some damage, but it looks like he is currently in 5th, about 6 seconds out of the lead. So depending on the damage, he could potentially drive through these guys. I mean, if you saw the last race, he had such a pace advantage on everyone. But hopefully this damage slows him down a little bit and gives us a race to look forward to. Oh yeah, you can see the whole front smashed in, the back smashed in. Can't be handling good at this point. He goes to the inside of Carlos Bonds. Doesn't complete the pass. Oh, going for it on the inside of turn 1. He's got it done now. Oh, that's Kurt Uzbek off the track. We'll go back up and see exactly what happened to him. No, that's not Kurt. Where's Kurt? There's Kurt. Oh, Kurt maybe just a little bit too much throttle exiting turn 1. Finds himself into the wall. I think it looks like his engine's smoking, so that might be the end of the day for him. Let's see what else. So we have a bunch of cars that came out of the pits, and all these guys are actually battling for position, although a lap down. It's Todd Angel, who passed quite a few cars in the last race. Passing Jim Karamanis there, who overshot the corner. I said Ralph Padgington, actually. These cars are painted the same. Right now we have Bob Lang getting pressure from Jeff Underwood. And we may have to contend with some lap traffic as this race goes on. Oh, looks like it came a little bit hot into that corner. You can see Stefan Vappa coming about a straightaway back. Bob Lang goes defensive, blocks the inside. This is our closest battle on the track. Bob Lang's last lap was at 151. Jeff Underwood was at 149, so I think he has quite a bit of pace advantage. They're gonna go side by side into the bus stop. When they go side by side nearly through the whole bus stop. Bad news for them is it lets Stefan Vappa cut more into their lead. Looks like Jeff Underwood now has that position to himself. Oh, he goes in a little hot. Oh, he's in the grass. He's in the wall. Yeah, I believe he just overcooked it. Kind of took himself out of the lead there. I can't imagine he didn't collect any damage. So Dave Curtis has a good idea that Stefan and Darren are only allowed to pass 1 car per lap next season. I'm okay with that. They'll have to pick and choose where they take them. Oh, Stefan Vappa grabbed the lead right there. All right, Dave, I think I need you to put a formal, put that in paper. Get it in writing, send it to the directors. See if we can make that stick. So despite the damage, Stefan Vappa still sub 150 laps, a bit off of his 147s from the previous race, but that's still to be expected with the damage he has. Although he hasn't had a lap on his own yet, so I'm not really sure what the full potential of his car is. Let's see here. So we have, like as I said before, we had a bunch of cars all in the pits, about half the field, but they all came out at a very similar spot. So Darren Treacle and Ian Ditson resumed their battle from the previous race, not nearly as close to the front. This is the race for 7th place right now. And Jeff Underwood has caught Bob Lang. Let's ride along with Jeff Underwood. Watch as he tries to make the pass. You can see his hood's popped up a little bit there on the right, so he's carrying some damage. Bob Lang goes in wide, takes a late apex. You can see it gives him a great run off of that corner. Oh, we get close. Now, most of the cars we drive, like I said, the S's are pretty much flat, but this car is such a monster with power and lack of downforce. It's probably heavy too. The S is a challenge. The S's are a challenge. You know, you work so hard in all the other cars to get a good run off of turn one. Where it's still important, but navigating the S's is a challenge as well. Comes in fast there. Here we are on Bob Lang looking back at Jeff Underwood. This is the battle for second place. So I'm looking at timing and scoring. Stefan Vappa is lapping at about a 149.0, which is about a second and a half off of where he was last race without the damage. Our fastest car on the track, I believe, is Darren Treacle. He's been in the 148s, in the low 148s, but he is okay. He just went in the pits. I'm not really sure what that was all about. So I want to say that our fastest car on track right now is Ian Ditson, who is, oof, that was close. Close entering the bus stop. Ian Ditson's in 7th. He's the first car that pit. He's a bit far away from all the other cars, I believe, so I'm not sure he'll be able to make any gains past that, short of anybody making a large mistake. But we do still have 6 laps left. You can also see Carlos Bonds trying to join this battle. We'll ride along with Carlos Bonds as he tries to put pressure on Jeff Underwood, who's trying to get by Bob Lang. And as you see, Bob Lang is hitting some lap traffic. That looks like team cars of Jim Karamanis and Ralph Padgington. Jim Karamanis gives the guys the wave by. Ralph's feeling racy. I don't think those cars affected this battle much, if at all. Oh, Jeff Underwood, is he getting a nose under there? No, not quite. It looks like he's got a good run through the S. Not sure if the damage is hindering him at all at top speed. Bob Lang gives a little bit of a block entering the bus stop. this is still our closest battle on track. We are on lap 8 of 12. I'm going to go through the field and see what the cars still look like. Let's see who's out there. So we have Todd Angel, 11th place. I definitely saw he was one of the cars that had to pit. Was curious to see how well he was going to do. He was getting it figured out. It looked like in race 1, making some moves towards the end of the race. Here we have Ralph Padgington. Looks like, looking at my statistics here, looks like Todd Angel actually had to pit twice. Ralph Padgington pit once. Next we have Jim Karamatis in 9th. Kurt Uzbey, we see him in the bus stop. He had to pit. He was doing well there till the spin out of turn 1. We have Ian Ditson, 7th. As I said earlier, I think he's our fastest car on the track, but well, Darren Treacle was until he hit us another time. But Ian Ditson's in 7th, but he's quite a bit off. As like I said, he had a pit. I believe all those cars coming out of the pits at the same time kind of tells me that was they all did a tow. A tow is kind of a predetermined amount of time depending on where you're on the track, which is then they got their faster pair, and that's why all those cars came out together. 6th place we have Jim Graziano. He is I'm not sure who he's passing there. I know it's not for position. Oh, looks like I've set things right. Is it Todd Angel maybe? Todd Angel, yeah. Yeah, Todd Angel a lap down. I'm going to jump up. We have Wiley Cox. Oh, actually I'm going to skip ahead. Jeff Underwood is putting more pressure back on Bob Lang. Oh, this is going to make a move down the front stretch. He's got the position into turn 1. Oh, looks like he did a nice job getting the car slowed down. He's going to keep it. He actually put a nice sized gap on Bob Lang through the S's. Something you typically don't see. Used a bunch of the exit and had a little bit aggressive steering to keep it on track. Let's go right along with our race leader, Stefan Vappa. His last lap he dipped into the 48s. I think while a bit ugly, he would consider this race a success. See from our leaderboard, he's picked up 9 positions. So has Carlos Bonds. This is lap 11 of 12. Now we have Carlos Bonds trying to catch Bob Lang. He's got less than 2 laps to get the job done. He's been kind of lurking here all race. Even last race, he just was just behind the pack, couldn't really close the distance, and then as you saw in that final corner, we had they were all kind of on top of each other. Yeah, I mean, it's probably less than a second out of gaining like 4 spots on track. Yep, so Stefan Vappa is now taking the white flag. So Carlos Bonds has a lap and a corner if he wants to get on the podium. Very evenly matched. Their best laps of the race are 1/100th apart. Wow. Oh. Late braking. I mean, he was on the brakes about 100 yards later than Bob Lang, and as you can see, he really closed the gap. Cut about 4/10 off the gap there was at that point. He's thinking about going to the inside. Bob Lang leaves him a little room. Oh, a little bit hot. Looks like Bob Lang kind of slips up a little bit in the mid corner there as well. And we're going to jump back to our race leader as watch him as he takes the checkered flag. You know what, Carlos Bonds keeps getting closer. I'm watching the telemetry. He's down to 3/10, about a quarter of a second now. Yeah, I don't think he's going to get there. And congratulations, Stefan Vappa. Then we have Jeff Underwood coming out of the final corner in his first race with us. Congratulations, Jeff. And here's Bob Lang and Carlos Bonds. I feel like they battled for 10 laps out of 12. Good race for those guys. Then here we have Wiley Cox following the team cars of Ralph Padgington and Jim Karamanis. Those cars are a lap down. They got caught in that early issue. I think Wiley Cox is probably his second race with us, I would say. Maybe third. Congratulations, Wiley. Let's jump to our next car, Jim Graziano. Jim Graziano going to finish 6th. I want to say he was maybe on the fence, stuck on the fence maybe in that first lap issue. So good recovery for him. And then we also have Ian Ditson, who was our first car to pit, first, I don't even know how to word this. Our best finisher who had a pit. How about that? Last car on track. Looks like it. So our results: winner Stefan Vappa had quite a bit of a gap to Jeff Underwood, and as we saw, Bob Lang and Carlos Bonds pretty much raced each other hard for those last, at least the last half of the race for the final podium spot, which went to Bob Lang. 5th place we had Jim Graziano, 6th place Ian Ditson, 7th place Kurt Oozbay. Then we had Ralph Padgington and Jim Karamanis, followed by Wiley Cox. And our last car running at the race was Todd Angel. Sadly, DNFing for today was Darren Treacle, John Clerk, Michael Kelly, and Clark Ostrom, who did not start the race. Okay. All right, we'll be back in a bit. I'm going to grab some of these guys. We'll do some post-race interviews. And, yep, we'll see you in a bit.
I went right underneath someone.
All right, so in the booth, we have Stefan Vappa, Jeff Underwood, and Ian Ditson. I imagine those guys in the pub. Do they want to join us? Do you guys know?
Yeah, throw them in here. Why not?
Yeah.
All
Might
right.
as well grab Wiley too.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. So now we have Darren Treacle, Michael Kelly, and Wiley Cox. So let's start with Stefan Vappa, winner of race 1 and 2. I said your second race was kind of ugly, but it was a win, so I guess it was a good day.
I don't know how that worked out. I thought there was nowhere to go, and really there wasn't. For a moment, I thought I was going to get through, and then suddenly there was a car on top of me.
So when we did the replay, you definitely smashed your way through it, and I thought you were going to be in the pits with everybody else, which actually turned out to have some nice racing because everybody came out of the pits at the same time. But yeah, you made it through, and not a huge gap to the leaders, and you're able to chase them down.
Yeah, I mean, I still had some damage because I was about 2 seconds down off my previous lap times, and normally that's slow enough that you want to go in, get a quick fix, and come back out. But I realized that most of the field was in the pits.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought if I could continue to go around, I at least had a shot to grab a podium. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to chase down somebody who didn't have damage.
Yeah.
But it just was down on speed. I was braking five yards later than I was earlier, and still 2 seconds a lap down. But it was a challenge. So
I was gonna say I think you ran in the 48s if I remember in the second race, so it wasn't all bad. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, Steve, he
mostly
tried,
49s.
yeah, but he's still faster than the field with a broken car. You know how frustrating that is?
it's frustrating to commentate when the leaders got 15 seconds on the field. I can tell you that.
And the whole field has been destroyed.
Yeah, I don't know what happened up front, but there was just a ton of smoke, and I backed off and wiggled around, tried to go around people.
Yep.
I tapped Michael Kelly, and then there was all chaos behind that.
Yeah. It looked like if I didn't have a great camera angle during the race to see it, but it looked like Michael Kelly maybe went to go 3 wide, and then if you were maybe moving over to pass someone, and then Michael Kelly kind of went across your nose, and that was the end of it. I think I've seen a NASCAR race that happen, so that's true to life.
We shoot for accuracy, Steve.
Yeah, good job, guys. You did it.
Oh man.
Do we want to talk about race 1 or is this
Sure. What you got for us?
Darren and I did racing. So
Yeah, no, actually, we covered. That was actually the bulk of what we covered race 1 because it was the closest battle. It was back and forth. I'm not really sure what happened with Darren at one point because it looked like he had the race and then he was back in third again and passed again. So I'm not really sure what happened there, but maybe you guys can fill us in.
Hey, we did racing, Steve.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't scripted or anything.
Yeah. No, we definitely we saw Darren move over at the toe of the boot, so I think we kind of saw what happened there.
Yeah. The beginning of the race got the jump on Dick.
Yeah.
Once he finally got around me, he pulled away, and I think towards the end of the race he said, "We're gonna do racing."
So you guys did racing.
We did racing for the last lap.
And it looked like once Darren got in front of you, his lap times dropped to a point where he was matching Stefan for fast lap of the race. So it was like, man, maybe if that gap wasn't there, there could be a race between Darren and Stefan up front. So it was optimistic for race 2. We just never got that.
Yeah, I was noticing that.
For race 2 as well.
Yeah,
I was noticing that those lap times were right there, so I was looking forward to it.
Yeah, and I think race 2, that little incident. I think only about 3 cars made it through unscathed. 2 of them were in front of it, and 1 car just kind of snaked its way through. So yeah, most of the field was either part of it or definitely had a pit for it. So yeah, I mean, it made for an interesting race.
Yeah, lucked out in Sonoma and won, and here not so much. So I guess karma.
Well, let's move on to Jeff Underwood, newcomer. Your first race, good results, I think. What were you, 4th and 2nd? Probably, I don't know, good result.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. First, thanks for having me, guys. I don't know if Stefan filled you in. He and I are old friends and go way back in playing on sim racing and whatnot. But yeah, I appreciate you having me, and had 2 pretty fun races. The first one was really fun for the first half of it. We had a good pack of us going there with Ian and Darren and myself, and I could hang on to them. But then I made a couple small mistakes and ended up kind of losing their draft. And then once Darren got around Ian and they kind of spread out and weren't drafting, I sort of fell back a little bit. But it was pretty fun. And then the second race, I just kind of, used my spidey sense to navigate through the chaos. And I did get one car across my nose, but it was really slow. And I probably got a little bit of damage, but got a little bit lucky at the same time.
Yeah, we rode on board a bit with you, and I think I remember the right side of your hood was wrinkled up.
Gotcha. That could have been from where I tried to help Stefan win, going down into the boot. I had just passed for the lead and then totally blew the next turn. It was like such a terrible mistake and ended up going wide out into the wall. And then I had to basically fight to get back up in the second for several more laps because I'm sure I had damage and it was fun though.
Well, watching it live, I was a bit surprised you got off so easy. I mean, sometimes you can get those tires and they're just going to suck you in, but you were able to get right back on the track, probably only about a second behind Bob Lang at that point.
Yeah, I saw it was coming, so I sort of tried to mitigate the hit and everything as much as I could. I knew that there was no saving it, so just see how I could, limit the damage as much as possible. Kind of got a little bit lucky too, I guess.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your first race with us. I guess you'll be joining us from here on out.
I hope to. I enjoyed it.
Good, happy to have you. Let's go to Bob Lang. Bob, I think you finished 7th, I think, for race 1, and 3rd race 2. So good results all in all. Imagine you wanted to hang on to the lead. It seemed like you were in the lead for most of the second race. And then, Stefan caught you guys, and he kind of put a gap on you. But you went back and forth with Jeff for quite a bit.
Yeah, Jeff. Actually, welcome, Jeff. It was fun racing with you. Hopefully, it wasn't too much of a pain.
No, Bob, I enjoyed it a lot.
And the start was a little bit chaotic, and I was surprised but it was actually fun racing with Kurt for a couple, 3 laps there, and then I had a good old time.
Yeah, I don't. Kurt didn't join us in the booth here, but he just kind of looped it coming out of turn 1. I'm not really sure what happened on the exit of turn 1. These cars just kept rotating, which I didn't notice anyone else doing that. So I don't know if it was just too much throttle or maybe he was just kind of sliding anyway through the corner. But yeah, he kind of ended his own day there.
Yeah, it looked like he might have early apexed or something, and then when he got out over the rumble strip on the outside driver's left, that's when he started sliding. So I just went way down low because I was concerned about coming back across the track, and it seemed to work.
Yeah, he hit that wall kind of where it's close to the track and kind of rolled back out a little bit, and there were a few cars that narrowly escaped danger there.
Yeah, because I noticed after that, all of a sudden there was a pretty good gap back to, I can't remember who was behind me at that point, but I was like, all right, just don't crash, and hopefully we'll do good this race.
Yep. Yeah, well, you got the last spot on the podium there for that second race, so that was a good one, and congratulations to you. Who else do we have in here? So, Darren, we heard from you a little bit. Your first race went well, your second one not so much. Anything you want to add, or?
Oh no, not really. I mean it's yeah.
Yeah. Anticlimactic.
Yeah, it wasn't a whole lot there. I mean, I got past Ian. He was by himself. I was by myself, so I wasn't going to catch Stefan. So I just kind of backed it down.
Yeah.
So he and I could race there at the end. And then I think, we all saw what happened in the second race. So
Yeah. Yeah, it looked like you caught Ian, I guess, in that second race, and then I don't know. Did you have an incident or just kind of lose interest?
No, I kind of wasn't feeling it anymore. So
okay.
Yeah, I was kind of messing around and blew through the bus stop to pass Ian just to mess with him, and then completely blew the next turn because I went through it at like 50 or wide open,
I thought you were trying to hit me from...
No, I did want to scare you a little bit and come up on you just as you were turning, so you thought I was going to hit you, but I had no plans of actually hitting
I
you.
wasn't paying attention, so I didn't see you until I saw you go blasting past me. I was like, what just happened?
Yeah. Well, congratulations on your second place in the first race, and
yeah, thanks.
Try again next time for that. Put the whole package together. So let's jump to Wiley Cox. You had 2 solid races, I'd say. The first race you were kind of in that pack at the end. There were like 4 or 5 cars.
I think it was Jeff and Carlos and one other person. And Jeff said he drifted a little bit back off of Ian and Darren, and I managed to catch up with them. And I catch up a bit and then lose some and catch up. And I tried to put it up the inside in like the third to last corner, and he closed the door pretty hard on me, which I totally deserved.
Yeah.
And I managed to stick with 4th place for first race, which was good. And then second race, I was being pretty conservative going into quarter 1 because it's usually crazy like that. And I saw a gap, and then I think it was maybe Ian got bounced back off the fence out in front of me, and so got some damage, just limped it back and took the faster pair, and then just tried to make as many spots as I could. I picked up 1 or 2 more. So,
okay.
Yeah, listen to me.
I wasn't sure if you pit. You were so far in front of everybody of the guys who did pit or got towed anyway. So maybe just being able to drive back is what made the difference for you.
Yeah. Watkins is a long tow, and I had up to like 3rd gear, so I just limped it back around, and I got out probably a lap or 2 ahead of him, which gave me a big advantage. Yeah,
so I think you got a 4th and a 5th, which is all considered a pretty good day.
Yeah, I'll take it. Thank you.
Is this your second race? I was trying to figure it out during the broadcast, and I couldn't remember.
This is 3rd race. We did Road America, we did Sears Point, and then this one. Yep.
All right, great. So we got 2 newcomers. Maybe we can add a few new next week. Last week I told everybody we should bring a friend. Stefan's the only one who took me up on it. I guess nobody cares what I think, so whatever.
I care, Steve.
Wow.
I care.
Thanks, Stefan. and
I hear little tiny violins playing.
Everybody that showed up's my friend, so
oh, yeah, I guess something to that.
just saying.
Weird group hug, but all right.
I invited them all.
Last we have Michael Kelly. Michael, you had a good first race.
Mike Kelly.
What's that?
Except for
him, yeah.
Yeah.
You had a good first race. I guess you were in that same pack that Wiley Cox was in. I think you led it. I think you were the lead car in that group. And I'm not really sure how it got so tight at the very end because you guys were strung out a little bit, and then those last two corners, I feel like you were three wide in the final corner, but you were able to hang on, and then race 2 just didn't go your way as so many other people had. Same issue.
Had a great first race with Wiley, Jeff, and Carlos. I mean, we were trading spots back and forth. Jeff held on to, I guess that would have been 4th. But, I mean, it was just door-to-door, lap after lap, swapping here. One mistake here, I saw Wiley miss the shift, and I blew the apex and won, and he got the spot back. And so that was a lot of fun, and I had high hopes for race 2. And got on the inside of Jim when he pushed Kurt out over the rumble strips and had a good exit out of 1, and then the next thing I know, I was going backwards.
Yeah.
It happens, and to quote the great John Wood, who's not with us, but watch the replay, I think he says. But it was fun, those things. What are you going to do? We invert the grid, and it's awesome 9 times out of 10, and then sometimes you meet the blue guardrail. And so sorry that's how that race went, but, it's get back on it, do it again next week, and have some more fun. At the end of the day, that's what it's about.
Sorry, Mike.
Hey, man, it's all good. I watched the replay. It was tough to see the car next to you, and it's really tough to see out of these cars, especially if you're on single monitor. So it's all good. It happens.
All right, so this week we're at the Fast Watkins Glen. Next week we'll be at the Slow and Tight Lime Rock Park. Hopefully we don't block the track again. And I think actually everybody in the group probably knows Lime Rock Park pretty well. I mean, most people in the sim know Lime Rock Park now. I mean, it's kind of a staple.
Practice at the real track this weekend.
Well, there you go. So you should you're gonna be battling Stefan for the win.
I am happy I'm missing that one.
Well,
me and Lime Rock, as you guys don't always meet.
All right. Well, on that note,
It's a great track.
I'm gonna close this off, and we'll see everyone next week. And thanks for joining us. And great racing, guys.
Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Steve.